Hi,
I'm Nord,
and I'm Lay.
and we're Two
Two
Kids
kids
on a
on a
Couch.
couch.
Hello and welcome back to Two Kids on a Couch. We're so excited to kick off this season with the catch-alls.
Yep, that theater this is happening in. Yeah, so today we're going to talk about the shows that weren't nominated for the best of in the respective category, just because we feel like we should be allowed to. And the nominators
Yeah.
can't tell us what to do.
My God, you're so right, big theater wing. Yeah, there was I feel like more so than usual shows that got like a lot that will have a big presence at the awards who are not up for best
And I think a lot of that comes from shows that did really well in design, but not necessarily content.
execution.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
So like I know on the play side, there's Picture of Dorian Gray, which is like
yes,
a one-woman show done with lots of like screens and stuff where she plays everybody.
yeah,
Um,
very, very impressive.
yeah, so I think Sarah Snook's nominated, and it's got like all the tech stuff.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
just wasn't like a good enough play, I guess.
It's so funny. I'm kind of surprised that it wasn't up for best play. I like Sarah Snook is for sure gonna win best actress.
Yeah.
Um, and I think it's probably gonna take home scenic and lighting. Like I,
Yeah, depends on what you call a video.
like we'll talk about Stranger Things, but
Yeah.
it isn't just because like it's her and it's a team of like six camera people
Mm,
like follow her around amid like floating set pieces because like the sets and the
live.
costumes get more elaborate as kind of she gets more lost in the story.
Yeah.
So like it is like you walk in and it's like a folding chair on a stage and you're like, oh, so it's like that kind of a show, and then it ends and you're like, oh,
Wasn't,
it
yeah.
for sure wasn't that kind of a show.
Yeah.
So I am surprised, but I think that that will not stop it from winning much of what it's nominated for.
Yeah. No, I think it's super strong. I do feel like I like read some of like it was all flash, like not enough heart, right? Or like it missed the point of things or whatever. Um
That is how I felt, but I
yeah.
was too scared to say it, so I'm glad someone else felt that way.
No, I don't think it's valid. But I think so I think in that sense it might have been correctly done, right? It like
Yeah,
the pieces were good enough. Like the performance was
yeah,
good, the direction perhaps like the maybe not the direction, I guess, but the technical choices did exactly what they needed to do.
yeah,
So I think it's good to recognize and honor that.
yeah.
Um, yeah. So Stranger Things also, Stranger Things The First Shadow is like a prequel to
Shadow,
Stranger
yeah,
Things, right?
did very, very well in London.
Yeah. And like does look technically super neat.
Yeah,
Like I feel people keep not wanting to spoil parts of the technical stuff, so I can't figure out what it actually is. They just tell me
sure.
it's very, very cool.
Yeah.
Um,
Which and I'm a and you know I'm sure you can speak to this more than I can, but I love technical theater kind of for the sake of it, right? Like kind of like Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. It's not a great show, but like
and it's the exact same team.
and
Like
it's
like like
yeah.
on that billboard is from the effects designers of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child.
Yeah, and like if you want to see some like actual real life magic, but you don't want to give your money to a transphobe,
This
Strange
is
Things
this is
First Shadow
supposed to
is for
be.
you.
Yeah. And also, I love the little guy, Louis something, maybe Louis, who plays.
Lewis, McCartney.
Sounds right. Yeah, he's like the only person who transferred from London, I think.
Yeah,
And is apparently fabulous and excellent in it.
yeah.
Like this,
He's the twink of the summer. Yeah.
and it like this feels in line with the like Christopher Boone and Curious Incident. Like this is the and man, I love those lanky little anxious boys.
Yeah.
Um, like
Say it. Speak on it.
I'm so into that character. And so I'm
Tell
thrilled
me,
that
tell me, tell me
we
what
got
it is,
another one.
Luke.
Don't worry about it. Could be any reason. Uh, more jobs for lanky little anxious white boys.
Yes.
Uh,
Timothy Chalamet's of the world right now.
that's right. That's right. So yeah, I'm thrilled to have another one because he seems so very good.
Yeah.
So I know Stranger Things: The First Shadow is like a little bit of a sellout, and like it probably doesn't need to keep occupying a theater forever like Cursed Child did, um,
And does.
and does. Yeah. But I'm not mad that it exists, right?
I'm super not either.
I think this stuff is fun. I to your point, I like finding ways I legitimately think it's cool to do, instead of an adaptation, to do like this universe extending stuff. Like this absolutely is just the Harry Potter formula. Put it to the other franchise people like right now.
Yeah.
So like in that sense, it's not super original, but I think it's like I think it's cool. I think it's a
and
cool way to.
I'd rather have this than a Stranger Things season 1 play.
Yeah, yeah, I think so too. I think it kind of brings in the collaborative nature of theater, the kind of inventiveness of theater, in a way that is more interesting than just like an adaptation would be.
Yeah.
So I both Dorian Gray and Stranger Things, I like even if they didn't fully work, right? Even
Yeah,
if they don't have the
glad-
heart or whatever.
Yeah,
Even if they wouldn't win best book of a play.
There's a place for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's easier to get excited about them than it is to get excited for like the Cher show or Tootsie. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And maybe that's something, right? I am more interested in a movie adapted into a play than into a musical. Yes, I think I can say that. Because like you have to work harder to do something different with it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right? Like you have to have a reason to say this like you wouldn't just take the movie script and put it on stage. No one would
That's
do
crazy.
that, right?
That's Good Night, Good Luck running on Broadway right now.
Yeah, I guess okay. If someone George Clooney would do that, and he'd get
George
Tony
Clooney.
nominated for it.
And he did.
Yeah, maybe this thing. People are willing to just say adding music to this movie is enough, right? And like we'll make Back to the Future, and it'll be the same thing, but now they sing, right?
Yeah.
But anyone who does not anyone, the people I'm thinking of who do
Sure.
play adaptations are like the Jane Eyres, right? Are the Dorian Grays, are the
Yes.
Stranger Things, right? Who says, let's like find there has to be a theatrical reason to do this, not just with songs.
How can we make the medium work for us and
Yes.
not make it an obstacle that we have to overcome?
Yeah,
absolutely.
So,
Yeah,
it's good.
A great example of this being not Good Night, Good Luck, in which George Clooney does a movie that he did 20 years ago. He does play someone else, though.
He plays a different part.
I was like, did this guy really reboot a movie so he could play the same role again? And the answer is no.
I think he promoted himself. I think he's the
He
lead
did.
in the play, and he was
supporting I believe he was like the young scrappy reporter in 2005, and now he's like the old grizzled like reporter.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, it's probably fine.
I'm sure it is fine. He's up for best leading actor, which is pretty
Yes.
impressive because Robert Downey Jr. wasn't. Both of them had their Broadway debut this year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there was a word like I think he can feel good about he was up there with Denzel Washington and Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
And
All
Kieran
of whom-
Culkin.
Yeah, all of whom I feel like were about as equally likely to get nominated, but they didn't,
Yeah.
and he did.
Yeah, absolutely. So like
And-
I think for that reason,
maybe the famous white like the famous celebrity vote just got split and it landed on George Clooney. I have no idea.
possibly.
But
yeah, like, I think there's something too. You can't say it's only because he's a famous Hollywood man, because
no,
plenty of famous Hollywood
God,
men.
who isn't in this season?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that show is probably fine. I don't know. I can't care about it very much.
Yeah, I also super get it. I won't because I think it's and we'll cut this. I think it's crazy that show is playing at the Winter Garden, which is the biggest theater on Broadway. It's barely small enough to be considered a Broadway theater. It's like borderline arena.
Yeah.
And what played in the Winter Garden directly prior to this? Back to the Future. What's playing in the Winter Garden directly after this? Mamma Mia. What's playing right now? An insane, moody play about reporters.
That is kind of crazy.
Where from any seat they're all this big. These people are acting for a film. Winter Garden. That's crazy. Anyway,
it's kind of crazy.
It's bananas. It's psychotic.
So yes, that's and we can maybe talk about some of these other musicals, because I guess while we're here, the only other like big plays that were nominated, Glenn Ross, which I think is an overrated play. Got nominated for one of the supporting actors.
Great,
sure.
love.
The Roommate, the not Patti LuPone actress got nominated, and that's fine.
Great.
Yeah, I agree. And I think those are all the plays.
I
Um,
think so too. We already talked
yeah.
about, yeah.
Yeah. So then other musicals. Yeah, we alluded to it in that episode, but we have the biopics. We have
Yep,
Just
we
in
get Just in
Time
Time.
and Wonderful World.
Yeah. I think both of which took a pretty similar approach. Like both of which I think had a very like nightclub feel,
Yeah.
lots of audience interaction. I
Yeah.
guess Just in Time is still running, but the Louis Armstrong closed. Just yeah,
Right.
just like equal parts tribute to this performer and also like just concert, just vibes, just hanging
Yeah.
out. Which I feel like when you're at this point in a career, that's like kind of the dream gig
Yeah.
for like James and for Jonathan. Just like sing songs and you're comfortable enough in who you are and your abilities, you're just like, yeah, I'll just hang out as this guy for a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. And I think you're exactly right that was the vibe of both of these is like people love being in the presence of these two performers, right?
Yeah.
Probably in the same way they loved being the presence of people like Louis Armstrong and Bobby Darin, right?
Yeah,
These
absolutely.
like consummate performers.
Yeah.
It's like let's give them that same stage, that same
Yeah,
platform.
100%.
Yeah. So I think it's cool that they're nominated. I don't think James will win for Wonderful World. It's not like a world in which I think if Jonathan Groff hadn't won last year,
Yeah, then for sure. And
yeah,
I think you're right. I think there is a world in which he wins, but I don't
yeah,
think he's going to beat
he's
out Jeremy
closer.
Jordan. And I hope that Darren Chris or Andrew Duran would beat out these two.
Yeah,
Can I say something crazy?
you
I
can.
think I think James Monroe Eichelhart and Jonathan Groff also feel that way. I think
Yeah,
I like they're both here with like three actors,
yeah,
two of whom have never been nominated, one of whom's been nominated twice and never won.
yeah,
I bet they're both like not our year. Totally fine,
yeah.
just not for us.
And sometimes that makes it like easier to enjoy the experience. I remember
Yeah.
like reading an interview of like Alex Brightman when he was nominated for School of Rock in the Hamilton year.
Uh-huh.
And he was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
that was so because like you knew you weren't gonna win. So
Yeah.
like being nominated is the gift, and getting to go on all these talk shows and getting like
Uh-huh.
being on all these round tables, that was the gift. Because there
Yeah,
was
yeah.
no pressure about actually winning.
Celia Keenan Bolger said the exact same thing because she was up against Kara Young last year, and she was like, everyone knew. There was not a
Yeah.
chance in hell I win this award. And that's
Yeah.
great. I just had a good time.
Yeah.
I went out and I like got drunk before the show because I'm like, I'm not gonna give a speech.
Yeah. Yeah. So hopefully Jonathan Groff and James Iglehart have a really
Yeah,
fun night.
they pregame, maybe
Yeah.
sit next to each other.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun. Yeah.
Um,
The first thing, Just in Time was nominated for a few other things as well, and I don't remember all of them.
I know there's at least one other acting nomination for the girl who's in the newest season of Sex Lives of College Girls.
Yeah, so Gracie Lawrence, who I know from her music career, she's in the band Lawrence, and I like their stuff.
Oh,
So
fun.
I'm like, oh, she does Broadway. And this is not her first Broadway. She did Broadway when she was a kid, I guess.
I believe that.
But if you ever heard her sing, she's got a crazy voice.
She does have a really beautiful voice.
Like it's just
Yeah,
super unique.
She's who they brought on to Sex Lives of College Girls when Renee Rapp quit.
That makes sense.
It doesn't make sense. And Renee Rapp, let me be clear, never sang in the show. And in this girl's like third episode, they shoehorn in her singing Never Enough from The Greatest Show, and to be like, see? She can sing too. It's like Renee Rapp never left.
That's very fun to me.
It was very silly.
Yeah. But no,
But she's really nice, really talented. I'm glad she got nominated. That's big for
yeah.
her.
She's like her band's kind of a big deal, but I've been like listening to this stuff a little while and like watching their vlogs about touring and
Yeah.
everything. So like I feel a connection to her anyway.
Sure.
And her and Jonathan Groff seem to have like fabulous chemistry. They're just like
course.
palling around, having a good
Who
time.
doesn't he have chemistry with? My God.
And that's true. So that little showman, not in a romantic way, but like in a
Sure.
these two people get to be buddies has been like a delight for me.
Oh, that's so fun.
So
Yeah.
I'm excited for them. I don't think she's gonna win either.
Yeah.
But it's exciting for them to be around.
You know, hey.
Yeah.
Hurrah.
Hurrah indeed. So
Another person who will not win,
yeah.
but bears mention, is Jazz and Amy Rogers in Boop the Musical.
And Boop the Musical.
A musical which is nominated for Jazz and Amy Rogers, choreography, and a third thing,
Costumes, maybe?
costume sounds right. I'm pretty sure it's not book score or direction or
No.
musical.
No.
What some might call the four pillars of a musical.
Yep, costumes is the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and choreography, yeah.
And it sounds like she 1000% earned her nomination. That
Yeah.
she is the reason to see the show. It is
Yeah.
her world. Literally, everyone else is living in it. The premise of-
Truly, there's a little bit of me that's like, what if the famous older woman vote gets split and Jasmine Amy Rogers slips in there?
and I don't think anyone would be upset about that, truthfully.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like I mean, Jasmine Amy Rogers is a Jimmy's kid.
She is.
Boop is not. I thought it would be like about the creator of or the making of.
Yeah.
It's not.
No.
It's the Barbie movie.
Yes. Yes.
But if Barbie was a comic,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, and I the review I read was basically like, I know what happened. The people who hold the rights to Betty Boop saw that the copyright was about to expire and
Mhm.
said, "What can I do with this IP before that happens?" And then they watched the Barbie movie and they said, "Oh, that."
And they said, "Got it."
And so they remember
Yeah.
saying and they said, to be clear, it does everything well, right? Choreography,
absolutely.
good. Acting, good. Score,
Yeah.
pretty good.
Right.
But like, but the question of why, it's to sell merch. It's like to make
And
money.
and to like remind people that Betty Boop exists.
Right. Right.
Yeah. A
So
thing I
that's a
refuse.
shame.
I refuse to remember. The musical
Correct.
will close and I will forget her immediately.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. This is another one. Like from the first time they like announced that it was happening, not unlike how I felt about SpongeBob. It was a little voice in me that went, "Huh, that doesn't seem like anyone asked for this."
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. But I feel like someone did ask for the SpongeBob musical.
I
Like
kind of like the
people.
SpongeBob musical.
I also do, but like people love SpongeBob. People
Yeah.
love that IP.
Sure.
No one loves Betty Boop.
That's
No
valid.
one knows anything about Betty Boop. You know her from the cameo she has in Who Framed Roger Rabbit,
That is what I know her from.
and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. So yeah, I'm excited for Amy Jasmine Amy Jasmine.
Jasmine Amy.
Jasmine Amy. I apologize.
Yeah,
Jasmine Amy
I
Rogers.
hope this leads to a long and illustrious career of being a leading lady on Broadway. I think that'd be great.
I agree.
Um,
But I don't think it needs anything else.
Nope.
I do like real women have curves. I was hoping I'd get a little bit more. I'd only heard like I'll be honest, I didn't think I was gonna like it. When I like saw
Sure.
the poster and like heard that it was happening, I'm like, fun, empowering. I thought it was a play, like fun, empowering show. Not for me.
Yeah.
And then I watched one of those like in rehearsal videos, and I'm like, all of these songs are pretty good.
Yeah.
And like the choreography looks pretty good, and the acting was all pretty good. And I'm like, this might be a pretty darn good show. It's more or less just about a family.
It's like a hair salon, right?
They make dresses, I believe.
Dresses. You're so right.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So I don't know what you call that, a seamstress shop, something. Of like Latin women who are making dresses and being entrepreneurs and living their
Yeah.
life. Then yeah, like it looks really good. Like I think part of like the title made me think that it's like just gonna be like a dark and gritty female empowerment story. And I think it is a female empowerment story, but it's mostly like a fun one. Like it's people having a good time, and I've yet to hear anything from it that I didn't like. It's all pretty fun. So I'm glad it got nominated for some things, but and hope it has if not on Broadway, a good life in the regional circuit and everything.
Yeah, what I think is funny about Real Women Have Curves, and I did have to just like double check this, is that it was a play and then it was a movie and now it is a
Ah.
musical.
I didn't realize this.
Yeah.
I thought it had play vibes. Okay.
Yeah. Your instincts are right.
Yeah.
I think America Ferrara was in the movie.
I believe it.
I'm not sure.
Okay, well, that makes me like a little bit less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The things that I've seen, I'm like, yeah, I'm sure this is like fine, cute. It doesn't give me the vibes of like of anything like groundbreaking in terms of the feminist movement. I'm sure it
No.
was in 1990s when the play came out and the movie was like
Sure.
2002. It probably hit a lot harder then.
Sure.
But
Yeah. No, I agree. I don't think it's changed any world.
yeah,
But
I
I like.
think it-
I'll
we
I'll
just said
listen
not
to it.
everything has to.
Yeah. I think the songs from this will like be on my playlist a little while. I think
Yeah,
there's-
absolutely.
there's-
And I mean, like, you know, if all that happens from this is like I don't know, people get to see themselves on a Broadway stage that previously like they didn't think they were cut out for. Great.
Yeah,
Perfect.
absolutely. Yeah,
All we need.
yeah, yeah. So I'm excited for that one.
Yeah.
Uh,
Do you want to talk about Swept Away? I think that's really
I like Swept Away. I've been excited about Swept Away for a couple of years. Because I like loosely follow John Gallagher Jr. and Stark Sands.
sure.
And I'm like, it's gonna be a jukebox musical, but I hope it's good. I would
But
like I started
I think-
listening
yeah.
started listening to some of the Avett Brothers to see if I would like it. I'm like, it's okay, I guess. And then the show came out, and I'm like,
Mhm.
it's sea
here.
shanties, right? It's theater, it's like brotherhood male ensemble, and I do like those kinds of things. And I'm like, this is good. This is like dark and edgy. People are gonna love this. People did not love it.
People did not love it.
A couple of people did. So like it
People dig it, so
opened,
right.
like immediately said it was gonna close. And a lot of people say, well, I gotta see before it closed. And so like sold out. So it extended for like a week or two. And those
Yeah.
sold out. And then it did close.
Yeah.
I'm still listening to the soundtrack. I think it's a cool, neat show.
And that's great.
It's about a fictional, loosely based off a real shipwreck, but it's a fictional story about a bunch of folks who get shipwrecked, and
Or Swept Away.
yeah,
As-
and yeah,
as-
correct. It's correct. It's not like the shipwrecks, and they're all in a lifeboat. So it's like like the ensemble's done by the end of Act 1, and then it's just
Yeah.
the 4 dudes in a lifeboat. And I guess spoilers, they eat each other.
That's hot.
Yeah. But like it's good. Like it's
Yeah.
it's dark and edgy, and they're all ghosts singing to each other, and like I think it's super fun, and it got nominated for best set, presumably because the ship sinking effect is super cool. And so it's not going to win, but I was hoping it was going to do better. I think it's neat. Like I knew I wasn't going to win anything,
Sure.
but I wanted it to be better than it was.
Yeah. And that's fair. And Swept Away, I think, gives credence to the idea that like all Broadway shows, producers should not be allowed to put on a Broadway show if they cannot guarantee a 3-month run.
I hadn't heard that, but I don't hate that idea.
It's a take that I started hearing circulated around that time when I'm like, that's like if a producer cannot back 3 months of selling 0 seats, don't open.
I think there's something to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think this show could have done better if it got its legs under it. And yeah, and so like John Gallagher Jr. and Stark Sands are fine, but like the other young man in the show, and I forget his name, was like kind of an up and comer, and this was like kind of his big shot.
Yeah.
And I thought he did a really good job. I think a number of those 4 guys could have been nominated. I thought
Yeah, well, and let's talk about this too. And
Yeah.
this is not a show that you and I love, but excuse me, Tammy Faye was this year too. And
Yeah.
that one also
Try
had
not on our list.
2 weeks of previews, and it ran for a week, and then it
Yeah.
closed.
Yeah. After
And
doing
that's-
very well in London.
After doing very well in London. And to be fair, I think just like we're burnt out on that story. Like we just hit like the TV show and the movie, and like I'm not shocked that it closed, but I'm
Right.
disgusted that it was allowed to close
Yeah.
so swiftly. Like,
Yeah, I
like
fully
those are
agree.
people's jobs, you know?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
fully agree. It should have had a much longer life. Well, a longer life, if not much longer, but
Yeah.
longer life. Yeah.
3 months.
3 months. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Smash is also on this list.
Sure.
I've heard it's really bad, and I
Yeah.
believe it.
Yeah. Man, and I never watched the Smash show.
I never did either.
I got super invested in the musical they wrote in the 2nd season of Smash, which is not the one that this talks about at all.
No. Which is a note that a lot of people have, though.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, like it's for a TV show that's like that's supposed to be like a love letter to like what it means to be in theater, it is just a mockery of anyone who chooses to spend their life doing it.
And maybe this is the thing, right? There may be other seasons where we're like, you know what Broadway needs? A silly little show.
Yeah.
But because we have Pirates of the Penzance musical, because we have Death Becomes Her, because we have
and
these like
Operation Mincemeat, yeah.
right, like because we have like a
really
couple
well
of like
done.
sharp silly little shows.
Yeah.
You could tell that Boop and Smash weren't what we needed.
Yeah. In the same way that like Bad Cinderella didn't hit.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Like it should have been like a camp like bad Disney Channel original movie,
Yeah.
and it was just bad. Like
Yeah.
there was
Yep.
no love had there.
What was the Britney Spears show? Was it
Oh my God, Once Upon a
One
Time?
More Time?
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't
Don't
need
need it, don't want it.
That's right. Yeah, so that's this year's Tony's shows, right?
Yeah, tune in next week to hear us talk about
More
I guess
things.
all of them.
Well, probably, yeah.
Like if this airs, it's
Yeah.
gonna air last.
One would think. We'll see.
Thanks so much for tuning into another season of Two Kids on a Couch. We really
Yeah.
appreciate all your support. Make sure to like, comment, and smash that subscribe button.
Smash it.
Luke, anything else they should do?
You can check out our merch. You can watch the Tony Awards on June
11th.
11th. I was gonna say 11th.
Oh no, it's the 8th.
Dang it.
And in the meantime, you can check out PBS Great Performance to see a lot of Tony-nominated plays and musicals.
That's what I'm gonna do. Truly,
Absolutely.
Instead of researching these, I'm gonna spend my time. It still counts as research.
Absolutely counts as research.
I'm gonna go watch them on PBS.
Yeah, 100%.
Cool. All right, stay couchy, friends.